Alright, Happy New Year and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Wonder Snatch. I'm actually filming this on New Year's Eve because I've got a very last minute engagement. Okay, we were asked to go to a New Year's Eve party, so I guess I'll be doing drag one more time this year. I'll probably only be posting this in the first couple of weeks of 2026, so Happy New Year to everyone. Okay, so I'm just going to get into some very recycled glam. Okay, I'm going to upgrade one of my gold looks and I'm gonna review 2025 and my year in drag, alright? So stay tuned and pick up those brushes and let's get started. Alright, okay, got everything in place now. Now I'm gonna do my base. Yeah, this gold thing, I got this like a few years ago to do a Christmas video. I haven't used it since, so it's back on. Sometimes the sparkle there does kind of like, cause some focus issues with the face. So, if my face goes out of focus, that's why. All right, so this year was quite an exciting, quite a successful year for me. Okay, Qabaret, I managed to stick to doing 6 Qabarets, including 2 one-woman shows, which is amazing. Okay, for me, that was a huge achievement for me. And I can just feel myself getting better, okay, every time I do it. So I think that is very, very rewarding. I'm basically using Google Photos to remind myself of the year. So I will this be looking at some maybe unreleased pictures that have been uploaded to the cloud, okay, and reliving the years through that. Okay, so January. What did I do in January 2025? There's some pictures here. I did a photo shoot for my country show. And then, oh yes, I did stand-up, okay, my third stand-up, and this is when I did my little mini roast of Barbie Ponte, okay. I looked so good. I looked so pretty, and I think my roast went over really well, okay. I was quite pleased with how I performed, and I really want to do it again soon. Okay, and using some NB this time. This comedy show that I perform at is called the Xiao Zha Bo's Comedy Special, and it's run by one of our local drag kings / drag queens, okay, Polyamori, or Aloysius D, okay, or Steph, okay. She is so cool, okay. I think recently this year she brought her one woman show to I think Melbourne. Okay, she's doing really well. She's really funny. I think that's pretty good for January. February. I did this amazing rose look, okay? This rose look that I was planning for like ages. I managed to finally do with this huge headpiece. It's still one of my favorite looks. Doesn't travel very well, okay, but I think it's pretty cool. And February was also the month that I went to New York City. Yeah. And that's where I watched Drag, the musical. I actually went in drag to meet Alaska. And yeah, doing drag in a nice temperate country is so different, okay? You don't sweat. And basically in the snow, yeah, it's just so comfortable. It's almost like being bundled up in drag. I got Alaska to do a shout out for Riot's birthday. I thought it was, kind of like a nice gesture, but I think some people didn't think so. Watching Alaska's career, I really think that she's doing, the kind of stuff that I really want to do. For Christmas, I think she went all around doing a one-woman singing cabaret. Okay, she's so cool. Alaska and Jinx Monsoon. Okay, March. March was basically Chinese New Year. And March was actually the first time I actually collaborated with Suki Doll, okay, and she made me my Year of the Snake outfit. At that point was the most I ever spent on an outfit. Okay, this year also marked quite a number of collaborations that I did with overseas designers. Okay, and that's something I really wanted to do, not only for the cosplay and for the couture part of it, but I really wanted to pretend like I was on Drag Race preparing for challenges. And I put aside some money to do all that, and I'd like to say I stayed within my budget. My skin sticks. March was also the month of my first Qabaret of the year, my country show. Servant Country. That was such a good show. We really had such a good time there, and I really love country music. I think I've mentioned this several times. And yeah, it was such a good show. We had such an amazing sing-along that it really inspired the subsequent shows after that, okay? I think it's the first show where I actually made a proper, like, kind of a pop medley to incorporate the medley style into my cabaret shows. Okay, so usually we only do medleys for like dance party shows, but this time we had it in a cabaret sit-down show, and it became a dance party. So that was pretty cool. And I'll be reuniting the country cast to be in my next Qabaret. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Okay, and then April, what did I do? Oh, April, I brought my drag to Songkran. Okay, the first time I actually went to a big rave party in drag. Did a couple of looks there to celebrate Songkran, and it was quite fun. Okay, I must admit, my drag doesn't usually travel very well, or stand up in crowds very well, in very crowded party spaces. So I was quite happy with that. Not sure if that's something that I will do again, but at least I've done it once. And this is the first time I actually used my silicone midriff. And it has kind of transformed my drag. It allowed me to do a lot of midriff outfits, which I've incorporated into my drag ever since. Okay, yep, and it seems like May I didn't do very much drag at all. May seems to be pretty quiet. That must be because I was preparing for June, which is Pride Month or Pink Dot, which I will come back to right after I powder and draw in my brows. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and now we're into June, and I'm going into with my eyes now. All right, I'm using the James Charles palette. I actually depotted it all and put it in the magnetic, so I really don't know which color I'm using. But these are really pigmented. Okay, I think today I'm going to try using the cooler browns, okay, and then go in with a nice gold. Okay, everything's gold today. This time I'm starting with the outer corner. Start with a very loose wing, okay, and then work it into the inner corner later. I feel this gives you a nicer kind of a softer look. Not softer look, but a more controlled look, so it's not all too blown out. Okay, June was Pink Dot month, and of course this is the month that marked my one-woman show, okay? So that was definitely the highlight of the month. But I also did a whole bunch of other stuff, okay? It was the first time I performed for Pink Dot, okay, with a whole bunch of other Singaporean drag queens. That was so fun, okay? And I love meeting everyone. I think if anyone's watching this, I'm really sorry, but I am like one of the worst people when it comes to remembering faces, but I think I managed to meet quite a lot of them. I usually find nightclubs and everything a little bit too overstimulating. I'm not sure whether it's like ADHD or some neurodivergence, but the loud music that doesn't really have any purpose other than dancing. Loud background music really makes me uncomfortable. So that's why I prefer theater or cabaret where the music is actually part of the story that you're actually taking in. I mean, that's just me. But yeah, so if you see me in the clubs and really hiding in a corner, that's why. But yeah, met a lot of queens. I performed with the Singapore Men's Chorus. I also performed at Edition. Okay, lots of looks. Okay, tons of looks for June. So June was really, really special month. Oh yes, and of course I walked in a fashion show as well, Fashion for All. I think I was one of the first drag queens in Singapore to walk for Fashion for All. Okay, softer brush. Going to use a lighter color just to color in the crease a little bit. Okay, and then July was of course Queerchella. Okay, Queerchella, that was a bit of a stretch for me. Okay, it was mainly pop stuff. Mainly, I wanted to do a dance party with current hits. Okay, and that's not my wheelhouse. So of course my performers, who are all a lot younger than me, all really helped to pick songs and everything. And I was actually introduced to a whole bunch of new songs and new artists that I didn't know. Of course, I sang Chapel Roan and Sabrina Carpenter and Lady Gaga. We did a whole segment on Lady Gaga. You really should watch it. It was so good. Okay, and inspired by Lady Gaga's appearance at Coachella, and of course her Mayhem tour, which I also caught this year when she came to Singapore. Okay, so I'm just concentrating stuff in the crease, but really just bring it up here to give it that nice, more diffuse look. Okay, using a thinner brush, going in with the deepest cool brown here. So really getting into that crease. Yeah. So after July was August, okay, and August is Singapore's National Day, so that's when I did my National Day look. Another House of Alchemy amazing creation, which I was trying to recreate this Mr. Oyster look. Okay, Mr. Oyster is this online fashion illustrator that inspires a lot of drag queens. So I wanted to really pay homage to one of his looks, and I got him to draw something inspired by the Gardens by the Bay in Singapore. So that's his look here. Okay, just blending out this to give it a nice gradient. And in August was also when we were preparing for a Disney show, which was in September. Okay, so I'm just gonna go off camera and cut my crease, and I'll be back to talk about the rest of the year. Okay, so the eyes are done. I think quite pretty. Okay, so later I'm gonna pack that with gold. Okay, and now I'm using my Mackin NW43. This is a new reformulated Studio Fix. Let's see how this looks. I'm gonna use this to warm up the face. I like using this with a nice big soft brush like that, so everything looks very airbrushed. See? Instead of a very harsh line there, this gives a nice smoke instead. Okay, yeah. So September was, of course, Qabarets does Disneyland. Okay, and that was a really fun show too. I mean, I really like coming up with ideas of how we can push this whole Disney theme. It's not just a Disney show, but this time it's all about Disneyland, about the workers in Disneyland. We had such fun doing it. I think my parodies in this show are one of my best. Okay, I particularly liked my song. Okay, I parodied Disneyland about Singapore Disneyland, and you can probably see it somewhere there. October, I wasn't going to do a Halloween show, but I couldn't stay away. So in the end, I ended up doing one too. Doing my Burlesque 4 Coven. That was pretty fun too. Okay. It was also quite fun working with a whole new cast. Okay. So my usual crowd wasn't there, and even my musical director wasn't there. But it was really, really fun working with a whole new batch of people. Oh my shit, why is it so black? This is coming off really black. I'm not sure whether there's something left on this brush. Okay, something is wrong with my makeup over here. I'm going to have to redo that. Okay, I think I fixed it. I don't know why for some reason the foundation on this side of my nose was like falling off. Okay, where was I? So yes, so October was Coven, and then November, what did I do in November? Let's see. Ah yes, and November was a Love Ball. It's a AFA fundraiser, which I haven't had for a very long time. And I was the entertainment. I sang 3 songs and went down really well, I think. Okay, and this was actually the most expensive dress I ordered this year. The second dress by Suki Doll, this amazing red. It's supposed to be an evolution of my rose look, okay, with roses bursting out of me in this very burlesque outfit. It was a little bit tricky to wear because I guess she didn't have me to try it on. So she had these removable boob cups which just kept popping off. I really need to try to fix that if I'm ever going to wear that again. Okay, and of course that brings us to December this month, where we had Comic-Con, where I went as a Starfire, an amazing look. This outfit was made by Synergy Studios, also who's done a lot of stuff for Drag Race UK girls, especially Selects Addiction. And of course my one-woman show, Mama Christmas, where I sang another original song. Oh yes, this year I sang 2 original songs. They're written specially for me by Jonan. Okay, I'm so pleased with that. Next year, I think I'll be trying to film one of these music videos, so stay tuned for that. Yep, so I think that was my year, and I think that was another very successful year in drag. So this is the last time I'm getting in drag for this year. I'm going to be finishing off my makeup, and then I'll be coming back to do a wrap-up, okay, later on, when I get into full drag. Alright, so this is the finished look, all gold and beautiful. This is actually the first dress that I've ever had made, okay, by Gilda Sue, okay, for my first Christmas show, Wonder Snatched. Okay, and of course it's all glowed up now because my makeup and hair is so much better. I look really, really rough that time. Alright, so that was my 2025 in review. And if you liked it, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, alright? 2026 is going to be even better. Alright, see ya. In such a long time. I rarely ever do my makeup here anymore, but it's so nice to have everything right here from you do my by Vanity. Gorgeous. Alright, Happy New Year, and I'll see you next year.